Peaches and the pastor. We got a love filled with joy and laughter. We gon' talk about how you and yours can master. Put God first, make the blessing come faster. You rollin' with Peaches and the pastor. We got a love filled with joy and laughter. We gon' talk about how you and yours can master. Put God first, make the blessing come faster.
Roses are red, yeah, violets are blue, boy. You know I'm in love with you. We gon' ride this thing till the wheels fall off. We gon' ride this thing just like them cars. You bring the sunshine, you make my light shine. You said you love me and that you're all mine. Who would ever believe that God loved me so to give me a king that makes my life so
You rollin' with Peaches and the pastor. We got a love filled with joy and laughter. We gon' talk about how you and yours can master. Put God first, make the blessing come faster. You rollin' with Peaches and the pastor. We got a love filled with joy and laughter. We gon' talk about how you and yours can master. Put God first, make the blessing come faster.
Yeah, Peaches, come on, let's ride till the wheels fall off. Come on, let's ride. Peaches, let's ride. Peaches and the pastor. Come on, come on. Let's take this ride. Come on, come on.
Greetings, TrinityStrong Kingdom Broadcast, and welcome to another segment of
Peaches
and the Pastor, and also what?
Also, well, we're on WOVU.
I just love when you say it.
Our Voices United. We have a radio family now. I'm so excited about that. And of course, TrinityStrong Kingdom Broadcast.
That's right. And guys, don't forget to hit us up on our website, TrinityOutreachCogic.org. All right? Okay?
That was a mouth twister.
Woo.
Say it again.
Trinity Outreach Ministry. Oh, Trinity Outreach Kojic. Oops. .org.
That was a tongue twister.
Yeah. But hey, listen, babe, you looking fly. Got that new hairstyle. Man, it's really hot.
You like
it's
that?
really nice, really nice.
Thank you.
Yeah. And we've been loving the past segments, and we've been really getting into some pretty cool subject matters, right?
Yes, I hope you all are enjoying it. Just talking about real life, right?
Yes, that's what it's all about. Real life, and Peaches and the Pastor, we try to keep it real and talk about practical things that'll help you get through your marriage.
What does it get through it? Like, it's like a torture. Like, you gotta get through. Why gotta be get through, babe? Why couldn't it be like...
Yeah, I wish it could be, but it's not that way.
Not all the time.
Yeah, not all the time. Yeah, but some marriages it's getting through. And so we want to... and sometimes you got to go through to get through.
That's right.
All right, so it happens that way. But I'm glad that we're back in our cool space. We were in that other studio the other day, and man, it was cramped up in there, man. Whew. I'm glad we're here and got the red going, and so that's really cool. That's real sweet, real cool.
Babe, don't rub the tablecloth.
All right, I'll try to behave. Okay. I'll just rub you. When I feel like rubbing the tablecloth, I'll just rub you. How about that? All right, so today we're going to talk about marriage. What do you call it? Marriage responsibilities, role playing in marriages, and how that can be a point of, could be an issue, right? Deciding, we had your traditional roles in marriages, where the husband is known traditionally to make the money, like I say, bring home the bacon, and the wife is designated as the one who stays home and cooks, cleans, and take care of the kids. But we know that ain't happening these days lately. What do you think?
No, that was probably in Leave It to Beaver times, but things are different now, and people are switching roles and doing all kinds of stuff, so it doesn't
necessarily work out that way. But I think it's all about communication up front, like before you get married. If you talk about, this is what I'm going to do,
Right.
this is what you say you're going to do, and take it from there, and not just rely on the traditional ways of doing things.
Yeah, well, that's part of the transitioning from back in the day to today. But then we have so much of that back in the day that is still in our DNA today. People still feel from a wife standpoint, there's still that desire to do those traditional things like cooking and cleaning and watching the kids. And the men have that mindset, that traditional mindset of being the one who brings in the money and works the hardest and is still there. So.
I didn't get that.
That's these phones, boy, they be going on, they be trying to get into our conversation.
But guess what? It just happens that way. But
Yeah.
hey, you're right. Sometimes we're still there in those traditional mindsets, which is nothing wrong with that. If
No.
that's what you agree to do and how you're going to do stuff. I just don't think in these times we take it for granted that that's how it's going to be, because nowadays it takes two people to work outside the home just to keep up with everything. In some instances, if that's the way you live, you know what I mean? So it's just about communicating what's good, how it's going to go down in your marriage, and then following through with that.
Yeah, right. I agree. And when you take those vows are traditional vows in a lot of cases, and those vows, put you on the pace of doing those traditional things. For instance, the wife, obey your husband, those kinds of things. This is in your vows. Okay, so there's still that piece that we have, and we have the examples that we live by through our parents, right?
Right.
And we saw them doing some things and living one way, and the wife doing one thing, the father doing the other thing, and those examples became a part of our way of thinking as well, you see.
Yeah, and that's good stuff, because we're all from different places. We all grew up different. You said watching your parents, and I grew up with a mother who owned a business, so all I saw was working. And so I did not necessarily live under the traditional way, with your mom, maybe staying home and taking care of the kids. I was the only kid, only child with a business mother who worked
Right.
and had her own business. And then there are some, so my grandmother, for instance, who I spent a lot of time with also, was a traditional stay-home mom, and she had more than one kid. She had 4 children, and she stayed home and took care of the children and cooked and cleaned and all that stuff. But she also worked with her hands as a master tailor and hat maker. So I see the work in the home, and I saw the example of outside the home. So that's why I always say, you have to work it out up front, what you expect, because it's not for granted that everybody grew up under a certain, way.
Right, and so you grow up in this mindset, though, even if you did not have a mother and father growing up in your husband or your father and mother growing up in the same household, you still have that thought in your mind, because you've seen others do it. It's been the family way, and it is an order that is also described in Scripture as well, in terms of certain things. But then it's up to interpretation. A lot of people are now they're just so overwhelmed by so many different interpretations of what the Bible says about the institution of marriage and how it should be carried out. But we have these things that we desire to have. You desire to to be married to, a man desires to marry a wife, and in that desire, he desires that his wife, and he sees his wife as the person who he's going to take care of. He sees his wife as one that would generally do the cooking, would, care for the kids. And hey, guys, if I'm not saying something correct, let me know. Okay. And I think wives in general have that mindset. I want a man to take care of me. All right. And yeah, we have wives that get down. They work hard, and they want to work, and don't want to be under the care of a man. But I think somewhere deep down inside, and guys, let me know if I'm wrong, you want to be taken care of.
Well, okay, so
well,
yeah, no, I hear exactly what you're saying, and I just go back to Proverbs 31 woman who in the Bible, she's described as a person who does, yes, take care of her children. She takes care of her house. She builds up her man. But she also works outside. She works, they say she could buy land, so that means she made some money. She's working, doing her thing, whatever that may be, to earn money. And that does not mean she does not want to be taken care of by her husband. It just means that she has her own set of gifts and talents that will lend her to earn income to help with her family and to make sure that everything goes smooth.
Right, and that's why it's important to understand, you're talking about the Proverbs 31 woman, and of course, how many are in that space. This is why Peaches and the Pastor, we're not trying to lay something on you that's unrealistic, because we have to get into the mindset and what you need to do to bring harmony, because this is what it's all about. You mentioned making sure things are discussed. Yes, communication is so critical, but we have to be on one accord, and whatever one accord is, because we want the husband, want the wife, want you to maximize all of the gifts and talents that you have, and not have it shoved behind traditions and what have you. And so
that's a good one. You know what I mean? Because if everybody is if the wife does have gifts and talents, and you are living that traditional life where she's not working or whatever, you kind of miss out as a team, as a married couple. Those gifts and talents can be used for the benefit of the entire family and for her legacy and the marriage's legacy. So yeah, this is good stuff.
Yeah, right. And I think when we come back, we'll get into that a little further, I believe. So let's stay on that a little bit, okay?
Yeah.
All right, and we'll come back and address some more of this. I think this is good stuff,
Yeah, me too. Stay tuned. You are watching. You rolling with Peaches and the Pastor. We will be right back.
All right, we're back at you. TrinityStrong Kingdom Broadcast.
And WOBU, our voices united.
All right.
Yeah. Well, we're talking about traditional marriages versus today's modern role setup.
Yeah, roles. Yeah, talking about roles, different roles, and how it has changed over time. Right before we went to the break, we started getting into, you miss out when you start to pack your lifestyle around traditions, and sometimes it could block the gifts and talents that are within you. Okay, and particularly women have the way women have been treated in different cultures around the world, and unable to to speak in certain classes, unable to go here, just so many hindrances and restraints in women throughout the world, and even today. There's a lot of restrictions. Just imagine, just stop and imagine all of the gifts and talents that are being restrained to be activated in that household, in that family, because of all these traditions.
Because of a role that you have, that has stuck in place. What if this particular woman doesn't cook well? Maybe the husband cooks better and he likes to, but she is she can do some real damage in the business world. Why not take advantage of that?
You mean damage in a good way?
In a good way.
Right,
what if she's an awesome businesswoman, but you confound her to, these roles, and you don't even get the benefit. When I say you, I'm saying that the significant other spouse doesn't get the benefit of that because you're putting her somewhere where that's not her gift or her talent. And it maybe is better served with on the other side. Maybe the man likes to and does well, and with cooking, and so I think nowadays people have kind of made some adjustments like that.
Well, I think there's a wave, and I think we have to create the narrative. Well, I mean, narrative not the right statement, but we have to create the right things to say, and we don't have all the answers here because I'm still living off the certain traditions and what I saw my parents do, and it's worked for me so far, baby. Right?
But I appreciate your family upbringing and the way you were, and there's so many positive, good things from that lifestyle. With your mom staying home and took care of the kids and did certain things. Nurtured the children, took care of her husband as he worked in business and as a pastor, and so she was the one taking care of the kids and the home, and also the spiritual, I believe, backbone, because a lot of times those blessings of that praying mother and praying mom on keeping everybody together, keeping her husband, covered, with bathing prayer, and keeping her children protected by prayer. All those things are such great benefits. But not every woman is cut out.
And on your point, we have to make sure, as you've stated, every woman is not like that, but they really want to be a particular way. But I'm not sure if even my daughter and your kids, our kids, and what we're teaching our kids now is to be independent. We're teaching the men to be independent, and we're teaching the women to be independent. Back in the day, I think the narrative that was been taught to our kids was the woman, to the girls, our prayers that you grow up and meet a good man, okay, that's going to take care of you. What we taught the men, I need you to be a strong man. I need you to be prepared to take on a woman to take care of her. That we taught them different things. Okay. Today, we're teaching our children's independence, and we don't want our kids to be under the ultimate control of anyone. We want them to be able to make their own bread. Opposed to waiting on the bread to come in. Make your own bread. Be prepared, because we're also, I think, in that independence, I think we also build in a little slight hint of mistrust or distrust within that same little flavor there. That's what we're doing.
Open up something. This might be a 3-part series, because you just said about 3 different things. But
because people are leaving. People are leaving relationships, leaving marriages, and you don't want
the reality of it is, yes, your parents do to you as a young girl. That was instilled. You meet your husband, and how he can take care. But the reality of it is, your husband may not be your husband your whole lifetime. He flipped the script, then what? I mean, you know, and it happens. And so it started to get taught, hey, you better be able to take care of yourself if something were to happen. But it's a balance, because you said something was very interesting when you said building in mistrust, because that also put in the back of our heads, you know, we're always planning or trying to stabilize our life just in case, you know, it does not go.
And that little energy that you're applying to that mistrust and distrust, maybe that energy should, you know, could have been applied to some other areas that, in fact, strengthens the relationship. Hey, that's
good stuff. You preached on that, packing to stay, or pack, you know, whatever. But it was based on that whole premise. Whether you're every day you're doing little things to eventually
stay, or a little day, or leave. A little bit to leave. You know, so are you staying or are you leaving? And some of that is seen and dealt with in your actions. Just those little bitty seeds that be planted.
Oh my goodness, this is some good stuff, because women, I mean, this is just very real. You know, because we live on stability, we just need to know that everything is going to be all right. I'm going to have a roof over my head. I want to have food in my refrigerator.
And you don't want to ever be without.
You don't ever want to be, because you know that you ultimately have to take care of the children. So you're always in this fight or flight type mode, in survival mode. And that's a scary place to live when you're trying to have a relationship, because it's hard to be in a trusting relationship with one foot in the relationship and one foot ready to run in case it doesn't work out. You're right.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, those seeds, right? When we start to plant those seeds and listen, I'm one that preaches independence. I'll do it. You know, I'll do it in a second. I don't want my kids being locked up into anything that, you know, ultimately, you know, might backfire on them. You know, but some of that, you know, again, we plant these things of independence that again got a little bit of that hint of mistrust and distrust in there, and it's in the back of your head, and you may not even realize it until you come to a disagreement, or you come to a point where, man, we've got a major issue here, and then you start to draw back into them seeds, and them seeds start to grow up, sprout up in your thoughts. Say, oh man, this thing is starting to look a little different now. I'm starting to feel a little something.
Or you may not have even been thinking that way, but then that spouse says something.
That seed is that conscious.
Yeah. Or anything, any little word like that, and it really just triggers.
It will trigger. It will.
Woo, and you can't even help it. Your mind is way
it goes. All right.
What? I thought we was on the same team.
Well, trigger words can activate seeds that are already in your spirit.
That's why you gotta watch what you say, because you cannot take it back once it leaves your mouth, even if you didn't mean it that way. Process that stuff before it leaves your lips.
That's very, very good point. Okay, and even when you get to a point where you say something, okay, and you know it was. You got to do some extra explaining. Go ahead and do all the explaining you need, okay? And get through it.
Explain real good, because you want to make sure, because just like to protect. You want to protect this thing, and you know it's not easy. You have to protect your marriage, and the way you protect it is by, like you said, doing some extra. If you got to do some extra explaining, some extra apologizing, some extra, you know, making sure you process the words you say before you come out your mouth. Whatever you have to do extra, protect your marriage.
Very important. Your marriage. All the time. Protect your marriage. And so in dealing with roles, we have, you don't want to be in a situation where you're married to your opponent.
Now that's something.
Okay.
See?
Well, you're married to your opponent.
He
So
just
you got
dropped
all
the
kind of
mic.
stuff.
Where's the mic?
So, everything, the roles start to become adversarial. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? And so this is when we have to really start to go back to the drawing table and say, listen, hey, before we go any further, let's outline some things here. And sometimes this is not talked about in the if you go to premarital counseling, some things like this will pop up. But we're talking about married couples that have lost some of their foundation and have moved to other levels. And like you said, we're watching, we're paying attention. The next thing you know, the things that are not happening in your relationship, in your marriage, that you expected to happen. And you're now starting to point fingers, and now the person that you marry is now your opponent because your person is coming back.
Be careful that you express, because one thing I noticed that we do, we think things through in our head, but we don't verbalize it with our mouth. So if what you expected is not something that we discussed or talked about, you can't hold on to that expectation because it's not even real to the other person. You know what I mean? If you expect A, B, and C, but you never discussed A, B, and C, you can't assume that the other person knows.
Assumptions.
My goodness, right?
Man,
You
it's the
can't
mother of
assume
all
that.
issues and problems. That's why.
That goes all the way back to communication again.
Everything spins around that.
You have to let them know, this is what I think. Not, I thought you were going to do this, and this. Well, no, we didn't talk about that. That's not what we talked about. We talked about something totally different. Now you expect this, or, then talk about it. That's where those check-ins
That's good. That's good. And every now and then you just, what we came in with is not what we have now. Okay, well, things change. Things evolve. We talked about that in other segments. Things change and evolve in your relationship, and you have to be ready to adapt to those changes and know it and notice them and be prepared to walk in it. Because one thing about it, if you love your spouse, if you are in love, this thing is going to that's your gateway or your bridge, from to understanding. It's your gateway and your bridge to getting together and making sure that everything is cool. So you have to utilize that. You know what? And I know that we're running out of time here, but I want to get into this on our next segment. Get into more of this in the next segment, because there's some other stuff I think Myra want to really bring out. So go ahead.
Oh, this is some good stuff. I mean, we started out talking about roles, but I just hear so many spin-offs to where we can go with this even more. And I know it'll be a help as we keep talking. This is good stuff, and it's supposed to spark some stuff like, we need to go home and talk over some stuff. Yeah,
roles again, and it is something, and it's changing. These roles and what people are wanting to do and needing to do, feel like they need to do, those things are different now. Okay, in terms of people's mindset. Now we're starting to see more marriages that are on that independent track. You do your thing, I do my thing, and
that's a whole lot. I just wrote a dissertation on that one. We'll come back and talk about that. All right, but we are out of time, Pastor.
What?
It's time to go.
Is it a time to go, or is it time for a break?
No, it's time to go.
Time to go?
We're out of here.
Oh, my goodness.
We will be back next week. You have been rolling with Peaches
and the Pastor.
God bless.